Good afternoon, friends. Today we are going to discuss the concept of motivation or the dynamics of motivation. In our day-to-day routine, we observe some people working, some people not working, or some people working less than their expectation. Or even in an office, we find some people working sincerely and some people who are managing their work, or they have got number of reasons not to work. Or there are students who get ranks and distinctions even though they are from very poor background, or even when the minimum facilities are not made available to them. In the recent SSLC examination, 22 students got first rank, 22 students got out of out. All the 22 students are not from cities. Many of them are from rural areas. What make them to work? Even though they are studying in some government schools or government high schools or rural area, they got first rank. Okay? Or even in your college, you find lecturers who take classes regularly, sincerely, and teachers who manage their classes. That means we observe some people work, some people do not work, and we observe there are many great people who are scientists and otherwise are Nobel Prize winners, are all from very poor background. Say you have heard of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was from a very, very, very poor family and from a scheduled caste group. What made him to be the best lawyer? And he was the, as you know, yes, all of you know, he was the chairman of the Constitution Committee. From, say, what a jump, or what made him to work like that? He went to England and studied law. He was authority on law or constitution of various countries. Okay? Or you have heard of Madam Marie Curie. Yes, she got 2 Nobel Prizes. She is the first woman to get the Nobel Prize. And she has a record of 2 Nobel Prizes. And you know her background. She did not have, food to eat. She used to eat chocolates and do research. Why people work like that? Or I have heard of Dr. Abdul Kalam, who is called the missile man of the country. He is also from a very, very poor background. He used to distribute papers, newspapers. Okay. Or you have heard of C.V. Raman, a Nobel laureate. Or you have heard of Thomas Alva Edison, who was sent or who was not admitted to the school. Okay. And later on, he becomes the great scientist, having more than 1,000 patents. Or you have heard of, say, our own president, Madam Draupadi Murmu. If you see her background, what an achievement. Okay. You see our present prime minister, he was a tea seller in a shop. Okay. He becomes the prime minister of India. Like that, we do observe many people who had nothing and who have no facilities at all, have become very, very great people. You have heard of, say, Bill Gates, who is one of the, IT giants. Okay. What made him to start his company? You have heard of Mr. Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys. What made them to start a company? He could have been employed elsewhere in some company and enjoyed his life. But why did he start a company? And now I think it is the second biggest IT company in the world. Okay. You have heard of Steve Jobs, who is the CEO of Apple company. He is not a graduate. Okay. Then say like that. There are a number of people around us who have become very famous, who have become great people from a very poor background, from scratches. Okay. What makes them great? Or why people behave differently? Or what makes people work? or what makes some people not to work, or why some people perform better than others, or how to make people perform better. These are the questions to be answered. Or I should say, why do people behave as they do? In general, we say, why do people behave as they do? Or what is behavior? Or why do people work? First, basically, why do people work? Say after, say 5 years or so, you meet your old friend, old classmate. How do you start conversing? How do you initiate the conversation? As soon as you see your friend, you say, hi. The next question is, how are you? The next question is, what are you doing? That means we attach so much of importance for work. Okay. And work is essential part of man's life, because this aspect of life gives us the status, binds us to the society. Okay. People look at others by the professions they do or by the work they do. Say doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers, like that. I mean, we do see people or give respect or identify people by their jobs or by the jobs they perform. Okay. And work activity provides fellowship and social life, recognition. Therefore, work is very important. All of us would like to work. Okay. And to find out why people behave as they do is the domain of motivation. The concept of motivation tries to understand why do people work and how can we make them work better. Okay. And motivation is a term used by all of us. All of us use the term motivation. Okay. It's a common term used by all. It is derived from the Latin word movere, which means to move. Latin word movere, which means to move. And motivation is the driving force for our actions, our willingness, and our desires to accomplish goals. It is the driving force. Okay. Motivation is the driving force which makes us to do something. It will not allow us to sit idle. It is a driving force for all of our actions, whatever the actions in this sense, whatever the behavior we express is a motivational behavior. Behavior is motivational. There is some reason, there is some drive, there is some force which makes us to behave in a particular way. That is motivation. I mean, our willingness and our desire to accomplish goals. Okay, all of us have goals. Say, why are you attending this orientation program? There is a goal. You want to move higher in your career. If you want to move higher up in your career, ladder of your career, you have to complete certain courses. That's a necessity. It's a means. Attending orientation program is the means to attain a higher cadre in your career. That means you have a goal, you have a motive, you have a reason. Okay, like that, every move, every behavior has got a goal, has got a driving force. And motivation is the inner urge. It is the inner urge or force or drive or desire or aspiration or need of human being, which are internal and which makes people not to keep quiet. It is the force, it is the drive, it is the aspiration, it is a desire, it is a drive, which makes us to behave in a particular way. And what is that particular way? I mean, always our behavior is aimed at accomplishing the goal or achieving the goal. Okay. I mean, motivation induces an individual to act in a certain manner. It is a force, as I told you. And motivation is a process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. Say, all of our behavior is goal-oriented. Our behavior is continuous, our behavior is rational, our behavior is problem solving, and our behavior is goal-oriented, and our behavior is motivated. Okay, every behavior or whatever the behavior we express is motivated. And say this earth has an history of, or our civilization, human civilization has a history of 6,000 years. 6,000 years. Say our ancestors were living in caves. and hunting was their main occupation. And since then, we have come a very, very long way. And whatever we have discovered, whatever we have invented, whatever the facilities we are enjoying are the results of works of some people who are motivated. Or I should say, all the facilities. Say you move on a vehicle, you have a fan, fridge, washing machine, dishwashers, or vehicles, or light, fan, say, or you take anything, you take any modern gadget, is invented by somebody who is motivated. I was telling you early, this Thomas Alva Edison has more than 1,000 patents. That means what you just imagine the amount of work done by Thomas Alva Edison. That means the progress we have achieved so far is the result of motivation of people who have made it possible. That means motivation is very basic. Motivation is the reason for all developments. Our progress depends on our motivation. And motivation, as I told you, is a driving force. It energizes, directs, and controls our behavior. Coming to, or before proceeding, I would say my talk on motivation would be very, very general. Okay. So it seems very elementary to the teachers of psychology or who have studied, say, or even commerce, professors do study some of the aspects of motivation in their, or they may teach even motivation in their classes. Okay, it may appear to be very elementary for them because the group is heterogeneous. I would be giving a common idea about motivation. Okay, and the first part we will understand what is motivation and one or two theories of motivation. Later on, we will understand how to motivate ourselves. How can we motivate ourselves? So this lecture is divided into two parts. First is concept of motivation or dynamics of motivation. Second is self-motivational techniques. Coming back to the motivation, or we will see the model of motivation. The model of motivation consists of 4 elements. Model of motivation consists of 4 elements. These 4 elements are stimulus, organism, behavior, and accomplishment. Stimulus, organism, behavior, and accomplishment. What is stimulus? Stimulus is any aspect of our environment to which a person is sensitive. You are all, say, now you have this, you are listening to this lecture, or you are listening to whatever I'm telling. Say, when you are listening, say, my lecture or my talk becomes stimulus. That is stimulus because you are responding to my lecture. Even though you are keeping quiet, you have, or you will have some feelings, some emotions. Okay, you go on understanding whatever I say. That itself is the stimulus right now. Okay, like that, stimulus is any aspect of our environment to which we are sensitive. Maybe, say, sound, light, objects, a supervisor, or a lecturer or a colleague, whoever it is. I mean, say, whatever to which we are sensitive is the stimulus. Or stimulus makes us to behave in a particular way. It energizes. Okay, it directs our behavior. Second element is organism or the human being. It is the human being who experiences this stimulus. It is the human being who is influenced by the stimulus, or stimulus inspires the human being to act in a particular way. And this human being, who is this human, or what is human being? Human being is made up of n number of traits. Human being is made up of n number of traits. Okay, and some are hereditary and some are learned ones. We are a bundle of knowledge. We are a bundle of traits. And these, out of these traits, or out of the traits we have, some are inherited and some are learned. I think all of you have heard of the father of psychology. Say, he is Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is called the father of psychology. And he gave us a theory called psychoanalysis theory, in which he classifies the mind into three structures: id, ego, and superego. He classifies the mind into three structures: id, ego, and superego. Id is the foundation of our personality. Id is the bundle of traits which we inherit from our elders or parents or ancestors. Okay. I mean, it is what wrong? I mean, it is basic, it is childish, it is irrational, it doesn't obey law, it is based on, principle of greediness, it is selfish, it doesn't obey rules. All these things are there in us. Okay. And this is what the inherited traits. Id is inherited. And when we grow over a period of time, we learn other characteristic features or other traits by observing, by experience, or by being told to us. Say, for example, when we were a child, we were told what is good and what is not, or how to behave, what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. Say, all these things are learned. Say, human being is a bundle of traits, and stimulus inspires human being. Say you are working, or you're reading, and you feel thirsty. When you feel thirsty, what say you identify? Yes, I mean, there is some kind of disequilibrium. Okay, and you should come back to the equilibrium. How do you come back to the equilibrium? Only when you quench your thirst. You go to kitchen and have a cup of water. Yes, your need is satisfied. Stimulus is the need. Stimulus is the want. Stimulus is the drive. Stimulus is the force. Okay, which makes you to behave in a particular way. When you experience thirstiness, you go and drink the water. Unless you drink the water, you will not experience the equilibrium. You will not come to the equilibrium. That means the second element is human being. It is the human being who experiences the stimulus. When he experiences the stimulus, he behaves. How he behaves? His behavior is goal-oriented and to satisfy the need. Okay? And even in behavior, we will have alternatives. Okay? Yes, when you feel thirsty or when you experience thirstiness, you may drink water, or you may drink tea or coffee, or you may drink some cold drinks, something like that. Okay, there are alternatives. For every problem, there will be alternatives, and you choose some alternative and you accomplish the goal. Goal is accomplished. Yes, first is the stimulus, and that stimulus is experienced by the organism or the human being, and to satisfy the stimulus or need, he behaves, and his behavior will have alternatives or choices. He chooses one of the choices, one of the alternatives, and behaves. Behavior is, say, body movement, talking, facial expression, emotional responses, thinking. Yes, there are many ways of expressing our behavior. When behavior is expressed, goal is accomplished, need is satisfied, and goal is accomplished. When one goal or when one need is satisfied, our behavior is directed by another need. Needs, we study that our needs are unlimited, our wants are unlimited. Even economics professors say wants are unlimited. That means we have n number of needs, and if you satisfy one need, another need will crop up and start directing our behavior. Therefore, behavior is continuous. Okay. Yes, coming to the model of behavior, first is stimulus, second is organism or the human being, third element is the behavior, and the fourth is goal accomplishment or satisfaction, and that goal accomplishment leads to another need. Another need will crop up and start directing our behavior. Hence, behavior is continuous. Then, motivation is very important. I was telling you what all the achievements that have been made over a period of time is the result of motivation. And motivation is important because it will help people to achieve their personal goals. Motivation helps us to achieve our personal goals. Always our behavior is goal-oriented. Okay, and we try to satisfy one or the other goal. Therefore, motivation helps us to achieve our personal goals. You have the personal goal of moving to higher cadre in your career, and say, as I told you, this orientation program is a means, and you are motivated to take up this orientation program because you have ultimate goal of achieving higher cadre. Okay, like that. I mean, and if an individual is motivated, he will have job satisfaction. A motivated individual will have the job satisfaction. Yes, a motivated individual will be sincere to his job. He does his job sincerely and effectively. When he does the job effectively, he will have the satisfaction. Ultimately, motivation results in job satisfaction. And a motivated fellow will also develop over a period of time. He believes in self-development and he gains knowledge and he becomes a better person because of his motivation. And a motivated fellow will always be optimistic. A motivated individual thinks that tomorrow is a better one or future is better. Future is positive. He thinks positive. He is optimistic. He becomes positive and he becomes, and challenging attitude. He takes up challenging attitude. Whenever problems come, he takes them as challenge and try to solve the problems. That is the nature of a motivated individual. And motivated individuals are adaptable and creative. Okay, we adapt. A motivated individual adapts himself or herself in a new situation very easily, and he or she will be creative because of her motivation. Okay, and motivation is the essential ingredient of achievement, or motivation is essential ingredient of success. If we want to achieve success, it is possible only by a motivated individual. Okay, and say it enhances, motivation enhances our performance. Say I would give you an equation. Motivation is equal to ability multiplied by performance. Performance is equal to ability multiplied by motivation. Say, assuming that our abilities are more or less the same. Say somebody may be history teacher, somebody may be English teachers, some of you may be, commerce professors, some of you may be science professors, arts professors, like that. But your fields are different, but our abilities, analyzing ability, understanding ability, communicative ability, say all these abilities, I'm talking of abilities, our abilities are more or less similar. Say I gave you the equation, performance is equal to ability multiplied by motivation. If motivation is zero, our performance is zero. Irrespective of our ability, performance becomes zero because we are not at all motivated. Okay. Say if you are not motivated, then you don't do anything. Performance will be zero. If motivation is 1, performance is 1. If motivation is 2, performance is great. That means our performance is decided or influenced by the motivation. Therefore, motivation is very important. And motivation is very complex. Why motivation is complex? Because say the diversity of reasons for which people work. So all of us work, but the reason behind our work would be different. Some people work for money, some people work for status, some people work for just to spend the time. Say I'm still working in the Department of Commerce as a visiting professor. I need not have to work, but why do I work? Just to spend my time. Salary or whatever the university gives is not important. I want to spend some time fruitfully, usefully. Therefore, I do work. Say there are different reasons for people to work. And when there are different reasons, automatically motivation becomes a complex concept and it is very difficult to understand. Why do people work? Why do people work is $1 million question which has not been answered so far. Okay, why do people say there are n number of reasons for people to work? Okay, and some behavioral scientists argue that motivation is a personal trait. Some people have this inbuilt motivation and some people do not have this motivation. Therefore, the performance differs. Behavioral scientists argue and making the concept complicated. And some behavioral scientists or some psychologists say it's a working conditions. If working conditions are conducive, people work. Otherwise, they don't work. That means they make it, again, they make it complicated. Okay. Yes, and say we are different. No two individuals are alike. Given the same problem, 10 people try to solve this problem in their own way, 10 ways. Okay, therefore, ultimately, what I am trying to tell you is, the concept of motivation is complex and dynamic. Okay, coming to the features of motivation. Okay, we understood the importance of motivation. Now, coming to the features of motivation. Yes, motivation is an internal feeling. Motivation is an internal feeling which cannot be seen from outside. What is your level of motivation? No, we cannot show. This is my motivation. This is how I am motivated. It is an internal feeling which cannot be identified or which cannot be seen from outside. Then it's a psychological phenomenon that converts abilities into performance. It is a psychological phenomenon. Motivation is psychological. Where do you have the desire to work? It is in your mind. It is in your psyche. Therefore, motivation is a psychological phenomenon and converts abilities into performance. So there are two things, ability and performance. Okay. All of us have got ability and willing to do. Okay. If you are not willing to do, yes, the performance is zero. And motivation reduces the gap between willingness to work and ability to work. It tries to minimize the difference between ability to work and willingness to work. If the gap is bigger, then we don't perform. Performance is very low. When there is no difference, performance is great. That means ability to work. Oh yes, all of us have got ability to work. But if you don't have willingness to work, we don't work because we don't have any willingness to work. That means performance becomes zero. Therefore, motivation tries to convert abilities into performance. Say in economics, we talk of demand, concept of demand. What constitutes demand? Yeah, first of all, a person should have the desire. If you don't have the desire, you don't buy the product. And just desire is not enough. You should have the ability to pay, capacity to pay for the product. If you have just desire to buy the product, it will not create demand. You should have the capacity to pay for the product. Even if you have the capacity to pay for the product, it doesn't constitute demand unless you are willing to pay for the product. That means to constitute demand, you have to have desire for the product, capacity to pay for the product, willingness to pay for the product. Then only it constitutes demand. Like that, the concept of motivation reduces the gap between ability to pay and ability to do the work and willingness to do the work. And it's always goal oriented. Motivation is goal oriented and it's a continuous process because when we satisfy one need, another need crops up and tries to direct and control our behavior. Therefore, motivation is continuous and it provides job satisfaction. Motivation, say when you do the job systematically, effectively, you are happy. When you do you do some or you deliver some class or lecture very effectively, and on that day you'd feel very happy. I did a good thing. I did a great job. Okay, it gives job satisfaction when you do your job with utmost care and dedication. You are happy. That means motivation leads to job satisfaction. Motivation may be positive or negative. Motivation may be positive or negative. Say you want to make your child to read the lesson. Either you may say, see, if you read this lesson, I will give you a chocolate. This is positive motivation. When you do something, you get a reward. When we get a reward, it is positive motivation. Okay. Or you may say your kid. Pardon? Yeah, I mean, if you may also say that if you don't read this chapter, you will not be given the lunch. It's a negative motivation. Motivation may be positive or negative. It may be intrinsic or extrinsic. Motivation may be intrinsic or extrinsic. What is intrinsic motivation? When we do a job, we feel proud of ourselves. You are happy when you do a job. Okay, when you solve a problem, you feel happy. You feel, I mean, extremely, I mean, say you gain the confidence. Okay, you are happy. That is intrinsic motivation. The happiness, the satisfaction, the sense of achievement you derive from doing a job is intrinsic motivation. When a job is done, a worker in a factory may get some monetary incentives. He may be recognized as the best worker. He may be promoted. He may be given some financial incentives. All these are extrinsic motivation. Motivation may be intrinsic, that is internally derived satisfaction, that is intrinsic. And extrinsic means whatever we get from outside, a promotion, a bonus, an incentive, all these are extrinsic motivation. Motivation may be intrinsic or extrinsic. And it may be, yeah, and it is considered, I mean, motivation to be considered in totality and not in piecemeal. When a person is motivated, the whole person is motivated. Say, what is required to do a job? We need 2 hands and a brain. We cannot motivate just 2 hands and a brain. If a person is motivated, the total person is motivated, not just hands or brain or whatever that is required. Okay. Therefore, motivation is a total concept in the sense it is considered in totality. The whole person is motivated. Okay. And it is the motivation is the product of valence and expectancy. Motivation is the product of valence and expectancy. What is valence? Valence is preference for a particular outcome. Valence is a preference for a certain outcome multiplied by expectancy. That is, say, belief that an act will be followed by an outcome. Valence and expectancy. Say, a student wants to be the topper. That is his, say, he strongly thinks that he should become the topper. When he strongly thinks that he should become the topper, what he does, he reads 10 hours a day. Assume he reads 10 or 12 hours a day. Okay. That means, say, valence is the proof. I mean, he strongly believes that he should get the first rank. Therefore, expectancy is, yes, he reads 10 to 12 hours. Only if I read 12 hours a day, I am able to write good answers and I am able to achieve the rank of the topper, or I can achieve first rank, or I can get first rank. Okay. Yes, motivation is the product of valence and expectancy. If I read 12 hours a day, I can be the topper. And this reading 12 hours depends on, or reading hours, number of hours of reading depends on the strength of his desire to achieve a particular goal. If he simply thinks that, if he dreams that I should become the topper, it will not happen. If he strongly believes, okay, strength of outcome, okay, or preference for outcome will influence the nature of work he does. Therefore, motivation is a product of valence and expectancy. Then we will discuss 1 or 2 theories of motivation. Okay, just for a broader understanding of the concept of motivation, I will discuss only 2 theories. There are n number of, I mean, this concept of motivation is of interest to the behavioral scientists because they want to know why people work. I mean, motivation tries to answer the questions, why do people work and how can we make a better worker? How can we make them a better individuals? Okay. Therefore, I mean, it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting concept. Therefore, many people have worked on the concept of motivation. leading to many theories. There are n number of theories on motivation. Just for our better understanding of our of the concept, we will discuss only two theories. First is the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Majority of you are familiar with this Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Okay? Maslow assumes that, okay, or Maslow says that human beings are wanting animals. Yes, all of us know we have a bundle of wants. We have n number of wants. We have n number of needs. We have n number of desires. Don't we have desires? Don't we have needs? Yes, we have n number of needs. That's what Maslow says. Maslow says human beings are wanting animals. They do not stop. Even if they acquire 10 crores, they will have, a person will say, you may work for 8 hours and you coolly sleep for 8 to 9 hours a day. All of us sleep 8 to 9 hours. But have you ever thought of rich people, say like Ambanis or Adanis? They don't sleep for 8 hours. They work more than what we work. They work, they have got thousands and thousands of crores of rupees of wealth. Even then, they work more than us. I don't know what makes them to work. Again, the need for achieving something else. Okay. And that's what Maslow says. Maslow says human beings are hunting animals, and he says that man can live by bread alone when bread is not available. Man can live by bread alone when no bread is available. That means if you are unable to get the bread, you wish to have the bread, at least bread. I can live. That's how people think, or that's how human beings think. Even when we are unable to get the bread, we wish that we will have some bread. We can, that's what Maslow says. People or man can live by bread when no bread is available. And if bread is available, again, he thinks of something else. That's how the behavior is. Okay. And he says that human beings have needs, and he assumes that, it is a common sense theory. Maslow's need hierarchy theory is a common sense theory. That means he says that human beings have got needs, and these needs can be put in a hierarchical order from basic needs to higher level needs. And he he assumes that people have got needs, and these needs influence our behavior, and the needs may be arranged in the order of priority from the basic needs to the higher level needs. And he classifies the needs into 5 types or 5 groups. He classifies the human needs. Again, I said it's a common sense theory. There is no scientific logic attached to his theory. Using his common sense, he classifies the need into 5 categories: physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. He classifies the needs into 5. Say, physiological needs. Physiological needs are very basic and powerful. First, we try to satisfy these physiological needs. These are the needs for survival. Okay. Yes, say we need food, we need water, air, shelter, clothing. They are very, very basic to our life. We first, all human beings, irrespective of their nature, we try to satisfy our basic needs. Need for food, need for air, water, clothing, and shelter. These are the basic needs. When people are able to satisfy physiological needs to a reasonable extent, they try to satisfy their safety needs. Say, what are these safety needs? These needs include need for personal safety, job security. We would like to have a regular income. Okay, regular income, income security, insurance against risk. All these are safety needs. When people are able to satisfy their safety needs to a reasonable extent, they try to satisfy their social needs. We, the human beings, are social animals. We would like to live in society. We would like to live in groups. Okay. And we have the need for love, need for affection, need for warmth and friendship. Okay. And we would like to live in groups, exchanging our emotions, feelings, thoughts. Okay. And we would like to hear the feelings of others. That's how the living is. We would like to share our emotions, our feelings. Okay. And we would also like to hear others' views or others' feelings and emotions. And we want to be recognized and accepted in the society. All of us would like to be recognized or and accepted in the society, that they are social needs. Okay, when we are able to satisfy our safety needs to a reasonable extent, we try to satisfy our social needs. When social needs are satisfied to a reasonable extent, we try to satisfy our esteem needs. Esteem needs are include desire for competence, desire for confidence, achievement, knowledge, freedom, power, and independence. We would like to be recognized. We would like to be competent. We would like to achieve. We would like to have freedom, power, independence. Okay. Or we have the need for prestige, recognition, status, reputation, appreciation. All these are esteem needs. When human beings are able to satisfy these esteem needs to a reasonable extent, we try to satisfy our self-actualization needs. Self-actualization needs are those needs which a person can become. What a person can become? A person can become anything. Sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. Okay. And there is no end. There is no end for achieving this self-actualization needs. If you have one vehicle, you would like to have more vehicle, one more vehicle. If you have one house, you think of building another house. If you have one thing, if you have something, you always think of adding something to it. That means our wants never end, our needs never end, our desires never end, and we go on acquiring and acquiring property, and there is no limit for that. Therefore, even as I was telling you in the beginning that Ambanis or Adanis or whatever the rich people do work more than us, because they want to achieve, they have not achieved their self-actualization needs, what one person can become. Okay, all these are needs, various needs which direct our behavior. Then that's say, and I don't go for the criticisms or limitations of Maslow's here. Just we are understanding the concept of motivation. Okay. Then coming to another theory of motivation, that is theory X and theory Y. Douglas McGregor gave this theory X and theory Y. Theory X and theory Y are the extreme assumptions of human behavior. Okay. Theory X assumes extreme negative behavior of human beings, and theory Y assumes extreme positive features of human beings. Theory X assumes that average human beings are lazy. Yes, an average human being is lazy. Okay, there is no doubt about it. We are all lazy. Okay, and say therefore we tend to postpone our work. Why do we postpone our work? Because we are lazy. If a thing can be done tomorrow, yes, we will decide it to do tomorrow or next week, something like that. An average human being is lazy, and we will avoid work whenever it is possible. Then most of people are gullible and not intelligent. Theory X assumes people are lazy, people are innocent, people are not intelligent, and they are derived, or the only thing that drives them is money. Only monetary incentives can make them work. Okay. And most people by nature always resist change, and average person doesn't like responsibility. Average human being lacks ambition. He prefers to be directed by others. And average human being is self-centered and indifferent to the organizational needs. These are the assumptions of theory X. Okay, we are lazy, don't take responsibility, and how to make them people work? Yes, only by close supervision, fear of punishment, control, authoritative leadership only can make them work. This is the gist of theory X. Theory Y assumes exactly opposite to that of theory X. Theory Y assumes that people are self-motivated and they like to work. People drive themselves and work efficiently. People will make use of the opportunities. They take the initiative and make use of the opportunity. People commit themselves to the objectives of organization, when conditions are conducive, okay, people enjoy making their own decisions, okay. When they are given freedom, they are able to take decisions. People are ready to take the responsibility, okay. And self-fulfillment is more satisfying than money. All these are the assumptions of theory Y. Then how to make people work? Yes, you need not have to supervise because they are self-motivated. Yes, only provide conditions and provide all the resources, people work. And as I told you, both theory X and theory Y are the extreme assumptions of human behavior. We are neither totally lazy, nor we like work as we like play. Most of the people are in between. Okay. And we are a mix of both theory X and theory Y, or we are in between theory X and theory Y. Okay. Sometimes we need, or some people need close supervision and threats to make them work, and some people work on their own. Okay. And whatever the world has achieved, development so far is the result of people like who are self-motivated. Okay. Yes, just to understand the concept of motivation, I gave you a gist of two theories which are very, very basic. Okay. Now we will come to the motivational techniques. Majority of us are born with we are not born with self-motivational skills. We are not born with self-motivated skills. This motivation is an acquired trait. We observe people and acquire knowledge. We see people and try to imitate them. We see people and learn so many things. Okay. And say this motivation is a learned skill or learned trait. Okay. Only few people may have inborn motivation. Like say Thomas Alva Edison or Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, whatever the great names I gave at the beginning of this lecture, they are self-motivated fellows. They are self-mates. They are self-motivated. We are not like that. Or majority of us are not like that. We have learned motivation. We have learned the skills by observing others or by being taught. Okay. Only few people, as I told you, will have self-motivation. Say, as I told you, say Ambedkar or Nelson Mandela or Mahatma Gandhi ji or K.R. Narayanan, they are all great people who have self-motivated people. Okay. However, motivation can be learned if we take time to focus and change our normal routine. Motivation, we can motivate ourselves. For that, we have to follow the following steps or following procedure or whatever you say. First, we have to have the SWOT analysis, SWOT or SW. Sometimes it's called SWOT analysis, SWOC. Earlier, we used to say SWOT analysis, SWOT. That is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now we say strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. We have to make a SWOT analysis of our own self. What are our strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities available? What are the challenges that I may have to face? Because say only the strengths. If you have the strength, we can make use of the opportunity. If you don't have the strength, you cannot. Opportunities become threat. Opportunities become threats if we don't have the strength. If you have the strength, even the threats become opportunity. You please understand. Okay. First, we have to have the introspection. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities available for me? Okay. Yes, your strength may be writing skills. You may be very good at writing, or you may be very good at communication. You may have oratory skills, or you may like social service, or you may be a good researcher, or you may be a literature person. Okay. Even a science professor may be a literature person. Okay. He may write short stories, poems, or translation. Okay. Our interests are different. Okay. What are my strengths other than, say, or you may be some people, these days we see the social media. Every other fellow is involved in creating some stories and uploading in the YouTube. They prepare reels and upload in the YouTube. Okay. Yes, I mean, that is also a strength. First, try to understand the strength. I mean, say even you may be interested in translation. Recently, last week, all of us have read in the newspaper that our Kannada, literature giant, that is Banu Mushtaq. Okay, Banu Mushtaq got Booker International Prize, and her book was translated by Deepa Bhasti. Deepa Bhasti translated the Kannada work of Banu Mushtaq, titled Heart Lamp, and which won the Booker Prize. This Booker Prize got a monetary incentive of 58 lakhs, around 58 lakhs. Okay. Yes, that's an achievement. That's an achievement. Even the say translation, you may be very good at translation. You may be good at writing stories. Say what you may be a good researcher, communicator, social service. You may believe in social service. Say what are you? First, you have to understand what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses. What are the strengths required to achieve something? If it's a weakness, yes, always we can overcome the weakness. Okay, by conscious efforts, by systematic efforts, we can overcome our weaknesses. Most of us, many teachers or many of us may not be well versed in English. Even though we are graduates, postgraduates, and supposed to teach in English, we may not be well versed in English. Yes, that may be a weakness. Yes, you can overcome that weakness by, improving your English language. Like that, what are my strengths? Yes, how can I use my strength? What are my weaknesses? And how can I overcome the weaknesses? What are the opportunities available? Okay. And how can I make use of the opportunities? This SWOT analysis is very essential to change ourselves, to move towards the success, to move towards the achievement. Then after making the SWOT analysis, yes, we have to write up personal vision statement, what we are going to do in the near future. Yeah, even in my last class, I was telling you, you have to have a long-term goal. Yeah, even to achieve or to be successful, we need to write our vision statement, what I'm going to do or what I'm going to achieve at the end of my career. Okay. Yes, and we should keep our intentions clear. Our goal should be, specific. We have to have the specific goal, measurable goal, achievable goal, relevant goal, and goal should be time bound. Okay, we had just setting the goal is not enough. Okay, goal should be very, very specific. May be related to your profession or may not be related to your profession, but be specific. What I'm going to achieve? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. In what time you are going to achieve this goal? Okay. Then third is get away with the fixed mindset. Our mindset may be fixed, or we may have the growth. We will have to have the growth mindset. If you have the fixed mindset, that means, say, those with fixed mindset believe that talent is inborn, intelligence is inborn. Okay. Say intelligence is not inborn. Okay. Or we cannot change the level of our ability. It's not possible. It's a mental block. Okay. Anybody can do anything. Okay. Even as an arts professor become a great scientist in about over a period of time, if he minds, if he tries. Okay. Yes. We have to change our attitude. If you have the fixed mindset, yes, get away with that fixed mindset and have a growth mindset. Okay. Growth mindset believes that we can improve. Yes, we can improve. Okay. We can improve our skills. We can improve our competence. We can improve our knowledge. Yeah, everything is possible. Okay. And all these things are possible only through hard work and effort. If you put in effort, yes, nothing is difficult. If you are regularly or continuously hard work, yes, everything is possible. That means the third point is to get away with the fixed mindset. Don't have the fixed mindset. Yes, you have to have the growth mindset. Then fourth is believe that change is possible. We have to believe that change is possible. Yes, change is possible. It's only human beings who can change. Human beings can change to the extent of 360 degrees. Okay, we can change. We can change 360. That means from east to west or west to east or north to, like that. I mean, 100% change is possible. We have n number of examples. Okay. Yes, you have heard the story. I mean, all of you have heard. I mean, I was telling you even in my last class. I mean, Mahatma Gandhiji was a big failure as a lawyer. Mahatma Gandhiji was a failure as a lawyer. He could not argue. Okay, he could not win even a single case. But over a period of time, he became the leader of the nation. He was called the father of the nation. Okay, that is the change that he has acquired over a period of time. That means change is possible. You might have heard of, I mean, Buddha, Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha was a prince. Okay, and he sees an old fellow, a patient, and a dead body, and he changes his mind and leaves the palace in the midnight in search of peace, in search of, knowledge for peace. Okay. Yes, I mean, what a change. He has left his kingdom, beautiful wife, son, everything, and goes for penance. What a change. Okay. Yes, you might have heard of Anguli Mala. Anguli Mala was a dacoit. Okay. He used to kill people. And he meets Buddha once. Argument takes place between Buddha and Angulimala. Ultimately, Angulimala becomes a Buddhist monk, from a dacoit to Buddhist monk. Yes, you have heard the name of Valmiki. Valmiki's earlier name was called Ratnakara. He was a hunter. Ratnakara was a hunter. And once he meets Narada, and Narada questions, yes, you are doing a crime. You are doing some bad work. Your profession is not good. Okay. Therefore, say you are earning bad karma. What do you do? And you are responsible for that. And he says, Ratnakara says, yes, whatever I do is for my family. Therefore, all the family members are responsible. They will also have to share the bad karma. Narada says, go and ask your wife and children. Are they ready to take this bad karma? Ratnakara goes and asks his wife and children, and they say, it is not our job. You have to look after us. It is you. You have to take all the bad karma that you are doing for whatever you are doing. Then he automatically comes back and asks for the relief. And Narada says, go for penance. And ultimately, Ratnakara goes for penance. And ultimately, he becomes Valmiki and writes Ramayana. Okay. From a hunter to a great writer, a great saint, I should say, great saint. That is the change we see in Valmiki. Okay. And you have heard the name of Sachin Tendulkar, a big cricketer. Okay. In his mid-career, Sachin faced a problem of tennis elbow. Then all his colleagues thought that Sachin's career is over because he has, tennis elbow. You know what this Sachin did? He did not keep quiet. Okay. Yes, he went to England, got his, elbow operated, and came back to Bangalore. He stayed in Bangalore for 6 months. And every day he used to work harder and harder. Between 6 and 7, he used to practice. He used to throw the ball from one hand and hit the ball from the another hand with a bat, with the help of a bat. For 1 hour, he used to do that, just hitting the ball. Okay, throwing the ball from one hand and hitting the ball from the other hand. And he used to run this Chinnaswamy Stadium for 21 rounds between 7 and 8. He used to go for breakfast at 8 o'clock, finish breakfast and come back at 8:30. 8:30 to 11:30 again, net practice. The same thing used to repeat in the evening also. And he became fit for international cricket within a period of 6 months. Okay. That means change is possible. Change is possible. Okay. Yes, when a poor boy can become the president of America, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a shepherd. His father was a cobbler. And he became the president of India. What a change. Change is possible. Okay. A chai wala can become the prime minister of India. You have the great example of Mr. Narendra Modi ji. Yes, and a paper boy from Rameshwaram became the missile man of the country. Ultimately, he became the president of India. Okay. Like that, a boy from scheduled caste and a very poor background became the president of India, K.R. Narayanan. I am going to tell the story of Narayanan if time permits. Okay. And say like that, I mean, you have a number of examples, okay, wherein people have changed. What made Ambedkar to study so hard? Okay. Yes, change is possible. Okay. Ambedkar, Lal Bahadur Shastri, our own Madam Draupadi Murmu, or like that. Okay. And after 20 years of, I will tell this story later. And this life throws opportunity at us every moment of our life is a moment of opportunity. And how do we make use of these opportunities will decide our future. Okay. And we have to change. Change is possible. Okay. Don't think that's what I said in the earlier. We have to have the, growth mindset. We should not have, or we should not believe in fixed mindset. Okay. And we have to get away. The fifth step is to get away with the inferiority complex. Many of us suffer from inferiority complex. We have to get away that inferiority complex. We think that I can't do it. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not that intelligent. Okay. So just I would like to share, say what would have happened if intelligence is available in the market. I think I quoted or I told this example even in my last class. I don't remember. Okay. If intelligence is available in the market, then say rich people would have become more intelligent and poor people would have served the interests of the rich people. That would have happened. But that is not so. God has not made like that. The world is totally different. Okay. Yes, we have to get away this inferiority complex. We have to get away from our wrong beliefs that I cannot do. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my work, something like that. And we should be ready to work little extra. Okay. Yes, decide to do little extra work every day. Okay. And success is not a lottery. It's the result of sheer hard work. I would tell you the story of Madam Sudha Murthy. All of you might have heard about Madam Sudha Murthy, who is the founder of, who was the chairman of Infosys Foundation. Okay, she passed. Sudha Murthy passed her PU in 1968. She got the first rank in the state of Karnataka. And when a person gets first rank, yes, he or she can choose any course. He or she can apply to any college. No college can say no for any course because she is the first ranker. And her father was a doctor. He suggested, Sudha, you are good at science. You take up medicine. I am also a doctor. He was a doctor. I am a doctor. I will also help you. You can become a very good doctor. Her mother advised, Sudha Murthy's mother advised, she was an MSc graduate, postgraduate, and she advised, Sudha, you are very good at maths. Take BSc mathematics, do MSc mathematics, be a lecturer. You can do both. You can look after both house and the career. Sudha had a grandfather who was a history teacher. He said, Sudha, I know you are very much interested in history. I have seen you reading history books. You take a BA history, do MA history, yes, you can contribute to the history of the country. And her grandma told, Sudha, I don't know whatever you study, you as early as possible, you become the graduate. I would like to see your marriage and die. But Sudha chose to become an engineer. She is the first girl. Sudha Murthy is the first girl to take up engineering course, at least in the state of Karnataka. Because the engineering course was the domain of boys. She is the first girl to take up the engineering course. Then, I'll cut short the story because we don't have much time. She went to the class. The college people were reluctant to give the admission because There was no facility for women in their college, and all the boys were, all the students were boys. Therefore, they were in a dilemma whether to give the, they cannot say no because she is the first ranker. And ultimately, with certain conditions, the principal gave her the admission. Okay. And she came to the class on the first day, and she wore a white sari on that day, and she entered the class. There are all the students were sitting, and only there is one seat available in the front row, and she wants to sit there, but somebody has put ink. Yes, doesn't mind. She just wiped off the ink and sat and took some decisions. Okay. Yes, he decided. At that moment, she decided that I will be regular to my class. The first decision. Second decision, I will not ask notes from my classmates. Third decision, I will wear white sari till I complete my engineering course. Fourth decision, I will take bath in cold water till I complete. It's like a penance. Okay. I will take cold water bath till I complete my engineering course. Fifth decision, I will not eat sweets. I will not eat sweets till I complete my engineering course. Sixth decision, I will sleep on mattress till I complete my course. Okay. Yes, I mean, she took all these decisions and adhered to all these decisions throughout her course, and she always got first rank. Okay. And this college, I mean, she applied to, she did her engineering in Bhumi Reddy College of Technology, Hubli. This college had the practice of putting the topper on the notice board with a photograph. Sudha Murthy knew that her photograph is on the notice board with a brief profile. She did not look at the notice board. She came first rank. She got first rank in all the semesters. Okay. In all the semesters, her photo was on the notice board, but she did not see the notice board. That is the kind of hard work. That is the kind of, commitment. That is the kind of dedication exhibited by Sudha Murthy. And therefore, she is now, she has received. Okay. And after as the chairman of Infosys Foundation, she has built more than 20,000 toilets in government schools, because she had the problem of toilets. When she did her engineering, she understood the problem of women or girl students, and she has built more than 20,000 toilets in all the government schools of the country. Okay. And she got Padma Bhushan. Yes, Padma Bhushan I think in 23 or 24, she got the award Padma Bhushan. Okay. Yes, some comment we have to, we should be ready to do little extra work. Otherwise, success is not possible. We cannot change. Okay. I wanted to tell the story of another achiever, that is Ambika. Okay. I don't have the time. It's okay. Okay. Yes, we have a number of examples where people have done extra work and achieved great heights in their life. We have to have the determination and dedication. Okay. We have to concentrate all our efforts towards achieving our own goal. Okay. Yes. And say, when it comes to the question of determination and dedication, I again take the example of Sachin Tendulkar. I think I told in the last class. I don't remember whether I told you in the last class. Okay. In 2007, Tendulkar was playing in international cricket, and an Australian bowler, Brad Hogg, took the wicket of Sachin Tendulkar, and he was very happy because it was maiden match, international match of Brad Hogg. Okay. And Brad Hogg, after the match, came with the ball and asked Tendulkar to put his autograph. And Sachin wrote on the ball, "This will never happen again. This will never happen again." After that, Sachin Tendulkar and Brad Hogg played 13 international matches, and in no match, Brad Hogg could take the wicket of Sachin Tendulkar. That is the dedication. That is the determination of Sachin Tendulkar. And say, after 20 years of his cricket career, Sachin Tendulkar was interviewed by Times of India. What is the secret of your success? The answer given by Sachin Tendulkar is, I eat cricket, I drink cricket, I sleep cricket, I breathe cricket, I walk cricket, and I think of cricket 24/7. Okay, that is the kind of dedication of Sachin Tendulkar. Therefore, he is called the god of cricket, and he got Bharat Ratna in 2014 for his achievement. He has secured 100 centuries in various matches, and he's the first person to achieve that feat. And he got Bharat Ratna, and he is the youngest fellow to get the award Bharat Ratna. That is the dedication of Sachin Tendulkar. Like that, say there are n number of examples. Okay, and I always tell, say, ultimately we have to achieve success in our endeavors. What is success? Is very difficult to define. What is success? Okay. Say when you were 15 or 16, you passed your SSLC or 10th examination. Success at that level, at that point. Because you were successful, you got into PUC. Again, you pass your PUC with flying colors. Therefore, you could get onto or get admission to degree. Passing PU is success at that level. Again, you passed your degree with good marks, securing very good marks. That is success again at that level. Because of that success, you could enter into your PG course. Again, you have come out with flying colors in your PG. That is your success at that point. Again, you got through some, selection board, KPSC or Maharashtra board or service board or whatever it is. That is success. And now we have become lecturers. Yes, you have achieved success. And this success should continue. This success would continue only you work hard continuously. If you don't work, your success stops at that point. I want all of you to be success, all of you to be dedicated, all of you to be determined. You have a goal, you can achieve any heights. Only thing is you have to, be always conscious. Try to question yourself. Don't question the rest of the people. Don't question others. Always question yourself. Okay. Yes, take the responsibility. Don't give any reason. Don't believe in giving reasons. Take the responsibility. Question yourself. When somebody can do something, okay, I always question myself. When my classmate can get 90%, why not me? Why not me? Because we are studying the same class, same teacher, and all of us are having the same, read same books. We have all of us have got 24 hours. Why not me? Why not I can also get 90%? So this should be your attitude. Question yourself. Okay, take the responsibility, take the risk. Okay, sometimes you may have to take the risk. Okay, yes, in between, try to have some introspection. What am I doing? Am I in the right path or so? Okay, and above all, practice time management. Okay, time is a scarcest resource, irreversible resource. Therefore, be cautious, be careful about spending time or using the time. And over a period of time, yes, you will be a self-made person. You will be a successful individual. You will achieve whatever you wish in your life. You will be a different person. You are recognized. Okay. Therefore, I wish all of you best